What if I told you there's a magic number to financial independence? What's going on, everyone? Josh is the name, Magnitude is the channel, and let's talk money. And the magic number is... subscribe. Just kidding. The magic number is 4. But if you want to learn more about financial literacy and all things money related, make sure you subscribe for more easy tips on how money works. On the quest for financial independence, you'll run across a rule of thumb called the 4% rule. It took me a while to understand what it meant because when I listen to podcasts and shows, the podcasts and show hosts come at it from the perspective that everyone within the conversation that they're having already knows what the 4% rule is. That leaves you and me wondering, 4% of what? Well, I'm about to tell you. The 4% rule is a rule of thumb that states that if you withdraw 4% of your stocks and bonds portfolio annually, you'll never take out more than the growth of the portfolio every year. It makes sense considering the average growth of the stock market is 7 to 8% annually when adjusted for inflation. At a 4% withdrawal rate, you'll continue to see growth in your portfolio at a greater rate than the amount you withdraw, despite pulling out money annually. The 4% rule makes calculating financial independence really easy. Essentially, all you have to do is take your annual expenses and multiply it by 25. This is why frugality and tracking your expenses is extremely important. You can't calculate your retirement number if you don't know how much you spend. So if your annual expenses equal $25,000, you can actually retire when you hit $625,000 in your investment portfolio. Now, you might be wondering how the 4% rule was discovered. In 1994, financial advisor William Bengen, or is it Bengen? I'm gonna go with Bengen because I think his idea is bangin', conducted a study of historical stock market returns. He focused heavily on the market downturns of the 1930s and the early 1970s. Bengen learned that even during volatile markets, no historical case could prove that a 4% annual withdrawal rate could exhaust a retirement portfolio. There's some wedding photography going on back here. Bonus side hustle idea right there. Prior to Bengen's studies in the 90s, 5% was thought to be the optimal withdrawal rate from a retirement portfolio. The 4% rule doesn't mean that your withdrawal stays the same forever. You can increase your withdrawal by 2% every year to keep up with the federal inflation rate. Now, this doesn't mean that you can go from a 4% withdrawal to a 6% withdrawal, but rather you can add 2% to your annual withdrawal number. Essentially, you can give yourself a 2% raise on your retirement paycheck every year. So if you start by withdrawing $20,000 annually, the next year you can withdraw $20,200. In theory, if you stick with the 4% withdrawal rate, you'll never run out of your principal sum of money. You'll be able to live off of your interest and dividends indefinitely. Sounds pretty great, right? Let's pull out the calculator and do some quick math here. The annual expenses for my family are about $40,000 a year. For the sake of ease, I'm rounding. To find my financial independence number, all I'd have to do is multiply that by 25, which equals around $1 million. And round is in rounding. Circle. Round. $1 million sounds like a lot of money, but let's continue to do some math here. My mortgage is about $1,500 per month. That's an $18,000 per year expense. If I can eliminate my mortgage somehow, that would bring down my annual expenses to $22,000 a year. Multiply that by 25 and I get $550,000. That's a little more than half of that original $1 million mark. So I could actually retire by the time I hit $800,000. All I would have to do is take out the $250,000 to pay off the mortgage at that point. Then I would be living mortgage-free and also have $22,000 a year to spend on living expenses. Now that you know about the 4% rule, you can calculate how much you need to reach financial independence. So go figure it out. Does hitting that early retirement number sound a lot more attainable now that I've broken down the numbers for you? Let me know in the comments. As always, if you've made it this far, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll really help out the channel a ton. If you'd like 2 free stocks, be sure to check out Webull in the description below. M1 Finance is my favorite investing platform. That link is also in the description. And I will talk to you next time. Peace.
So
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.